Afternoon all, no respawns, hope you're doing well. So this is my kind of open-air weapon shop that we're placing in the castle. Pretty standard fare, this is going to be quite cool. I'm actually quite chuffed with how this turned out. I know that I say that a lot, mainly because I'm legitimately very chuffed. Usually a lot of my builds look kind of wank while I'm building them. I'm like, oh dear, this is going to look awful, and it turns out pretty cool, and this is one of those ones. So as you can see, we're in the castle. Those of you who don't know, but I'm obviously building the castle, and what I'm doing is I'm doing it in kind of modular bits like this. And this is the kind of central tier. It's going to have kind of a megaton vibe. And what I've gone and done is I'm going to have 3 shops. I think the other one will probably be a cafe, actually. And if you probably gather away from the style of the last video when I did my clinic, they're kind of open. You can see it in the back there. They're kind of open air. So rather than kind of, doorways, I wanted them to kind of be something a bit more open, kind of feel like a market vibe. Now, what I wanted to do here, this is me I do this a lot, and it's highly recommend you try this out, this is the cola cars. So in Nuka World, when you get into, spoiler, when you leave the kind of bumper cars area, this is basically part of that. And you get it in the Unlock Summon Objects mod, and I've wanted to use it for a while. But I've never had any idea what to do with it at all, so I just thought, you know what, fuck it, I'll just slap something together, will I? Yeah, just kind of see what I can do. And I'm quite pleased. It looks a little bit messy as I'm building it, and it starts to come together. And then when you see the tour, it looks really, really cool. It's just an odd one, but I quite like this. It's very, very cool. On a random rant here. So those of you who know, I mentioned briefly in my last video how I don't know if the path thing works for the summon, because I'm building my castle. I'm making the, quite packed. Currently, it's fucked. My guys can't even get out my little central courtyard area. So you see those you'll see it as I walk around. You'll see little Minutemen, just kind of up to the right of us now, and they're actually just hanging out. So I'll sort that out. Basically, I'm gonna solve it with loads of ramps. Basically, just that's it. Really, loads of ramps. That'll solve it. Anyway, back to my weapons shop. So, I didn't really plan this. I don't plan my builds anymore, people. I have a vague idea. So I didn't plan this one even lower than normal. Basically, my plan for this was I wanted it open air, and I wanted to use some of the signs from the custom vanilla assets mod, which you'll see the signs I use. I know one of those is the good neighbor one, and I think I do use the gun sign from Diamond City, but I can't remember if they're all just from good neighbor. But it looks very, very cool. But that was it. That was it. So this is me I know what I'm doing right here. I'm just kind of experimenting around. It ends up looking quite cool. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do this. And I try and be all twatty and clever, but then I just realise I can just snap it on. So it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Look at this. Why? Why? So basically, I could have just snapped it on. I don't know why I did it that way. I don't know what was going on. I think my intention, it was my plan, was, it's because obviously I was using the floor piece from the barn, which I really, the workshop, which I really, really like, and I wanted to keep that texture on the floor, but I realised it wasn't going to work. So what I'm doing right here is I wanted to have my little mesh thing here, as it's going to be a load of crates up above, because I can't really connect it with the ceiling. It'll look really weird, so I'm just going to kind of put some crates up there. It looks really good. And it hides the fact that it doesn't really connect properly. Now, what I'm doing right here is when I pick up the pillar, it snaps up. See, because I can't sink the pillar, but I can use it where I grab it to kind of vaguely get the height correct. I'm just getting a bit confused on where. So basically, like, it's quite a neat little method. If you want to raise something up using the pillar and you don't obviously use other kind of mods, this just enables me to just squeeze this in. This is quite, messy in parts, actually. Especially, get tongue-tied there. The angle of this cola cars thing is not completely straight, and as you can see right here, it's probably might have even been better to pillar glitch that angled wall piece in, just because it clips in a little bit. Not too much. It looks very cool when it's finished, but I had to kind of and ah a little bit. So I'm just going to plop these things up there right now. The reason being is it was just bothering me looking at it, because it was just kind of... Ugh. I'm surprised this worked. So I was initially, you saw me at the start, I was kind of scrolling through the menus, and I was initially going to use the Diamond City house for this part. But the problem is that comes with, so it's the Diamond, if you go into the MISC section of the structures tab, if you go down, it says Mist Structures, and that's where I got this. And there's a Diamond City house, so the ones that you see, I think the Mega City Clinic uses it, and a lot of the Diamond City houses do. It's really cool. I've used it in my Sanctuary build, and it would look really cool. The problem is it comes with foundation bits attached, and therefore I couldn't get it, because obviously this is raised over the ground, so it'd look a bit weird. So I opted for this. I might use Diamond City prefab for my my little cafe thing, but I'm not too sure, because I don't know if it'll work, but it'll look cool anyway. And also in this build, as you'll see in the tour at the end as well, we do add a couple of crafty shacks, but I don't show you how I build them because they're just literally just filler shacks. But I have started using now, and I'm going to probably, because in my last video I didn't decorate so much, so you'll see in a minute I've added a few more decorations around the whole of the structure, and I'm probably going to do that a bit whenever I do tours of this area, just because of the fact that there's quite a lot to do, but at the same time I don't want to do it all in one big go. As you can see here, we've got the gun side. These are really, really cool. I love these. Now, I think I've already settled it out properly. Does this place one? I can't remember. This place? It does. Does. Great. So what I'm doing right here is it wasn't allowing me to place, right? So I scrolled back to the next item that had collision. So went green without moving my cursor, and then scrolled back to the gun side, enabled me to place it. But the important thing is, it's just how the custom vanilla assets mod works. If you get, like, watch this one here. This one, remember, this one didn't place. So it doesn't let me place. So I go here, look forward, cursor over that one, go back, and I can place it. Bosh. And there we go. And that seems like, what? Really? That's it? That's all it is. From what I've gathered with other people have mentioned it to me, is that if you try and, what do we call it? If you go, so say if I've got a load of menu, right, with like several items with collision and some without, you can tell the ones without collision, with no collision, don't have this green highlighted there. So they're green highlighted, they have collision. If they're not green highlighted, you can place them physically anywhere. Now, when you're in the menu and you can't place the other ones, the ones without collision, if you scroll over past a green one, and then scroll back immediately, you can place it. However, if you then pass another green one, it then fucks up the process. So you have to go again. It's really confusing. You'll get it. Yeah. The reason why I stress this is because in this build, the CVA mod, probably the best parts that have been added to it are loads of billboards and signs, and also like paper, like uber thin posters to put on walls. You're going to see it in the tour, like a Nuka-Cola signs, things like that. And it's probably the best part of the mod. It allows you to kind of put kind of billboards and kind of big posters on things on the side of buildings. And I do that a lot, and they don't use collision, so you kind of have to learn it, know it. Let's get right here. I'm making little. When I'm doing these little castle builds, I'm just going to build the little walkways around. I'm probably not going to show you each time, but I didn't show you in the last video, so I figured I'd show you now. So it's pretty cool. It's actually not. It's pretty like messy. It's incredibly messy. Completely forgot to actually add in this. And I am going to do it. I completely forgot. Because I'm using lots of plywood, it's a little bit it is messy. It's like I'm using way too much of the same structure surface. It just looks a bit crap. So I will be, and I did forget to do this, but in the custom villa assets mod, there is there's quite a few debris that I can basically put on the floor, and it's kind of, it doesn't have any surface area, so it doesn't kind of, raise things up or anything like that. And I'm going to do that on my little walkways to kind of break them up a little bit. But as you can see, I'm just kind of quite ramshackle with it. I like using those boxes on each other, and also barrels as well are pretty cool. So I'm pretty kind of just fucking around. I get a little bit. I'm going to have to, it's fine, but you see right here, the doorway, the little ridge, shall we say, of the wee house thing there. House thing? The wee house thing? Fuck's sake, it's simpleton. The shack wall, basically, is getting in the way a little bit. So I'm just being a bit messy. Probably not as messy. It's a little bit too messy, yeah, but just fine. I forgot to, but before the next video, I'll have tidied this up. I decided to show you this because, obviously, it is important just to know kind of the vague process of what I'm doing with all these things. Again, I'm worried about the pathing. So what I've learned about the pathing I'm not as bothered. Some people are like really bothered when their settlers don't walk to these places. I don't really give a shit. As long as when I load up, that at their assigned stations, that's all like really bothers me. However, with this one, it is a bit with that central area, because obviously I do want my traders coming in. because that central area now is going to be a kind of social area, and also with my traders. I might make it the next video, actually, I'm not sure. But with these walkways, it's going to be a bit of a problem. But however, with that central area, I just have loads of ramps. But I'm basically, yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, what I would, with the with pathing, basically, as long as you have something assigned to an area, they'll just magically appear there when you load into area when you sleep. So it doesn't really bother me too much, but some people it bothers. But I'm just accepting the fact that most of my settlers and my Minutemen probably won't actually navigate these little streets so much. I do it for the look, not for the necessary practicality. As you can see, nearly done. Adding more bits and pieces. It's looking pretty cool. I'm really pleased you'll like the tour of this. It's a bit tedious, me doing these little floors, but I just wanted to show you, yeah. Just so you know, you get it, and then I don't have to show you again. Same with the wee shacks. So you can see, pop a load of barrels in, shove shit in. It's gonna get really hard when we do the next layers, the next tier, shall we say. It's gonna be interesting, but top tier, the one that goes on the walls, will be fine, but it's just this next tier is gonna be a bit of an interesting little one. So right, here it is, and you can see got the GNN poster there, so it's very, very sheer. But as you can see, I've added quite a bit more jump decoration in this one, because it's obviously the weapon shop. There's a little kind of like random scrap area, and I put mannequins for now, because I don't want people hanging around. But as you can see, it looks really cool. I'm really pleased with how this works, right? And it's really cool with like the walkways, and I've added a couple of shacks, as you can see. There's another shack. I've tried to mix the shacks up a little bit, so I've used the metal prefab and this one. This is actually one of my favourite prefabs, that metal one there. I just like the way it looks. Hope you guys like this. It's very cool. It's kind of quite funky little, very simple metal shop, weapon shop. Probably easier, in fact, if you weren't, you know, trying to raise it up off the ground like I've done here for this specific reason. Anyway, as always, follow me on Twitter at norespawns. I'll have a new video up soon. And you guys enjoy the rest of your week. I'll be here building. Anyway, take care.